Hey everybody, welcome to another Daredevil review. This time I'll be covering Daredevil the Man Without Fear by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. This is basically a retelling of Daredevil's origin. Frank Miller wanted to do another Daredevil story after his infamous run from the late 70s, early 80s, and then with Born Again, of course. That was where it kind of culminated. And some years passed, and he wanted to do another Daredevil project. And so this is what we got from that. And like I said, this is basically just a retelling of the origin story of how Matt Murdock became Daredevil. And I gotta be honest, the first 3 issues are kind of shaky. Although in the first issue, I do like the fact that they changed up the method of how Matt Murdock was blinded. In all the original Daredevil stories that Miller did, it's always been that Matt Murdock saved an old man from getting hit by a truck, and this radioactive isotope fell out of the back of the truck and like hit him in the face and blinded him. But I always found that kind of unrealistic, to be honest. Like, how's like a bar, like a radioactive bar, gonna fall out of the back of a truck and just so happen to hit him directly in the eyes? I always found that kind of like unbelievable, you know? This changes it up, and instead of getting hit in the face with an isotope, he gets hit in the face with like this toxic goo, and it also is radioactive and blinds him and gives him all the heightened senses and everything. But what I like about this scene here is the fact that they kept all of the same dialogue pretty much word for word from Born Again. There's a part in Born Again where Matt Murdock is in the hospital, and he's having flashbacks to when he was blinded and how it changed his life forever. And the dialogue in this scene here is exactly word for word the same as the scene in Born Again, which I thought was kind of a nice touch, because it's like, you know, Frank Miller's playing on the nostalgia that people have for Born Again. This volume also introduces us to Stick, gives us a cool little couple scenes with Stick. It shows how Battle and Jack Murdock was gunned down by the mob. Just the standard Daredevil stuff, you know, Daredevil getting revenge for his father's death. The scene where he goes up against Slade, I've never seen it done like this before, and like they made Slade just like a hulking beast, and that's all thanks to the work of the artist John Romita Jr., who does some pretty good work here. I have a couple issues with it. Some of the like character poses I think are a little off at times, but for the most part, his work here is really great. And this is another one of the darker Daredevil stories. Miller throws in some stuff here that's very very dark, and it's good. I like it because it's Miller doing what he does best. Yeah. Now, one of the issues I have with this, and this is kind of why I said the first 3 issues were a little shaky for me. The usage of Elektra in the first 3 issues is just, I didn't like it. I thought she just kind of burst onto the scene, and then issue 3 pretty much revolves entirely around Elektra, and then she just leaves. And then she doesn't come back for the whole rest of the book. And it's just like, it feels sort of tacked on, and it doesn't work for me. Because it's like, they added it in to play on the nostalgia of fans, but it's like it doesn't work because it feels too rushed, and you know, she shows up and never shows up again for the rest of the book. And actually, after this issue where she leaves, this is where things get fantastic. This volume is made up of 5 issues. The first 3, like I said, not really my cup of tea. The last 2, however, are peak Daredevil material. This one revolves around the Kingpin, and you know, the cool thing about these last 2 issues, they feel like a completely different story. The first 3, I mean, yeah, you can draw parallels, but the last 2 issues of this, it feels like it very easily could have been made its own thing and been like a lot better than the end result. And I'm not saying that the book is bad. I'm just saying that the last 2 issues are fantastic. It revolves around this. The last 2 issues revolve around the disappearance of this girl that Matt Murdock has been training, and the Kingpin gets involved, and one of the Kingpin's like right-hand men captures this girl and holds her with a bunch of other kids in a warehouse. And so it's up to Daredevil to kind of get her back and save the day. And, you know, it's funny. We don't even see the Daredevil suit until the very, very final page. It's all just like the classic kind of like ninja outfit. If you've seen the show, the Netflix show Daredevil, which is no longer on Netflix, if you've seen that show, you know this outfit. So, you know, you get this glorious widescreen panel here. It's like a double page spread. Gotta love that. I love whenever comics do that. And, you know, from here on out, it's just nonstop action. Daredevil's chasing this guy down, trying to get the girl. There's a great moment where one of the Kingpin's men has the girl, and he's got her at gunpoint, and Matt Murdock comes in, and he just keeps saying over and over and over again, "I don't want to kill you, let her go." And he says it like 7 times, and yet it seems like Kingpin's guy, his name is Larks, it seems like Larks doesn't grasp the seriousness of the situation. And it's great stuff. And then, of course, the very last page, you get the Daredevil suit, and it's beautiful. I love the closing of this book. It's fantastic. If only the first 3 issues were a little better. And then you get like the rough draft script here in the back, all the supplemental materials, kind of the notes from Frank Miller to John Romita Jr. Got like a cover gallery here, and that's it. Those are my thoughts on Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. Good book, not great, but like I said, if they were to cut it down to just those last 2 issues, I mean, I would have absolutely considered this whole thing to be peak Daredevil material. But all in all, not a bad book, just not my favorite. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.